Hello, my name is Monique Boudreau, Superintendent of Francophone School South District. It is my pleasure to be your MC for today's special announcement. Bonjour, je suis Monique Boudreau, directrice générale du district scolaire francophone sud et je serai votre maîtresse de cérémonie pour cet événement spécial. A big thank you to East Coast Brass, an ensemble of Systema Nouveau-Brunswick teaching artists for their contribution in music this morning. And a special thanks to you all for being part of this announcement today. Un merci spécial à vous tous et toutes d'être parmi nous pour participer à cette annonce tellement importante pour nos jeunes néo-brunswickois. As a provincial organization, the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and Systema New Brunswick acknowledges that it carries out its work on the traditional unceded territory of Wolastoqey, Mi'kmaq, and Besgado-Mogaddi peoples. We pay respect to their elders, past and present, and descendants of this land, as we strive to develop closer relationships with the indigenous people of New Brunswick. Francophone School South District has been a proud partner with Systema Nouveau-Brunswick for many years. Depuis plusieurs années, le district scolaire francophone sud est un partenaire important de Systema Nouveau-Brunswick. We provide space and transportation services and have close working relationships between our schools and educators and Systema New Brunswick teaching artists. We've seen that Systema Nouveau-Brunswick means to our students the opportunity to learn and grow, to experience beauty in the music, but also in their lives. Ce sont les étincelles dans les yeux de nos élèves lorsqu'ils jouent leur instrument avec fierté et confiance qui nous démontrent l'impact positif que Systema a sur nos élèves et leurs familles. It is now my honor to introduce the Systema New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, performing with two special guest artists, Georges Paul, Cultural Ambassador for the Mi'kmaq Nation, and Samantha Robichaud, and New Brunswick Youth Orchestra alumnus, former Systema Nouveau-Brunswick teaching artist, and professional fiddle player, step dancer, and vocalist. First, the honor song, composed and performed by Georges Paul. Second, La Match, an East Coast fiddle tune performed by the orchestra along with Samantha Robichaud. The conductor is New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and Systema New Brunswick Music Director Antonio Delgado. Our thanks to Georges Paul and Systema New Brunswick Youth Orchestra. It is wonderful that so many of you could join us today for this special announcement. In fact, we have people from around the world who are watching us. Nous avons des gens du Brésil, des États-Unis, des gens d'à travers le Canada. Systema BC is here with us, joining us, our live stream. Former Premier David Howard et l'Orchestre symphonique de Montréal, pour en nommer quelques-uns. Also, just a reminder that all of you to engage in our chat and share any questions you may have as we go along. We'll do our best to answer every one of those questions either today or in our follow-up. And now it is my honor to introduce Ken McLeod, President and CEO of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and founder of Systema Nouveau-Brunswick. I met Mr. McLeod about 10 years ago when he asked to meet me because he wanted to open a center in Richibouctou. Dès notre première rencontre, M. McLeod m'a convaincu que le programme de Systema nous permettrait de changer le monde, un musicien à la fois. It only took 5 minutes for Mr. McLeod to convince us that Systema can literally change the lives of so many families. We have worked closely with Ken for many years, and as we say in French, il a le cœur à la bonne place. Monsieur, Madame, Ken McLeod.
Thank you so much. Minister Carty, Dr. Azraeli, Allison and Claire McCain, Robert Moreau, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the Systema New Brunswick musicians. Merci de nous vous joindre aujourd'hui. I want to begin by acknowledging our board of directors. Peter Buckley is here today, our board chair. From Miramichi, Eileen Bowes. From Sackville, Kathy Hamer. From Moncton, Wade Hamilton, Ray-Jean Boudreau, and Alexis Couture. From St. John, David Adams and Denise Britt. And from Edmundston, Jacques Poitras. Peter, I want to thank you and the board of directors for your dedication and your stewardship of the mission and the work of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and Systema New Brunswick. We're very grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you. A special thanks as well to Greg Turner, MLA for Moncton South. Greg has been a friend and a champion for Systema New Brunswick through his time on Moncton City Council and now within the provincial government. Our sincere thanks and appreciation. Systema NB a connu ses débuts il y a plus de 12 ans. Some time ago, I heard about El Sistema in Venezuela and the founder, Jose Abreu, and how they were using music and the orchestra as a vehicle for social change. I was so inspired by the idea, I had to see it for myself. So in early June 2009, 2 board members, David Adams and David Hawkins, and I, were on a plane to Venezuela. One experience from that trip stands out, and I would say was life-changing. Pedro was 9. His hair was disheveled. His clothes were old and worn. He didn't have a cello board used to hold his instrument to the floor. So he stood up, and he removed his belt. And he put the flat end of the belt under the chair leg. And then he used the belt buckle to hold his instrument to the floor. He took his seat, and when the conductor signaled, he threw himself into the music with complete abandon. Instantly, Pedro was transformed. No longer a child of poverty. The pleasure of the moment was exquisite. The room was awash in sheer joy. We were dazzled. The future was bright. Pedro and the rest of the kids transported us and transported themselves to a new place where everything is possible. The incredible power of their own accomplishment was tangible. The nurturing impact of playing music together was on display, and inside me, this conviction exploded. Qu'est-ce qui ne voudrait pas en faire profiter tous nos enfants? Who wouldn't want this for all our children? When we returned from Venezuela, we couldn't wait. And the first Sistema New Brunswick Center opened 3 months later, 1 teacher, 50 children in the basement of Beaverbrook School in Moncton, New Brunswick. Il y a trop de gens à remercier. Il a fallu une croyance de nombreuses personnes pour concrétiser Sistema NB, quand, au départ, il n'était que nous. Thank you to the province of New Brunswick, who has been a partner in our development from the very beginning. And then many others, Larry Nelson, Frank and James McKenna, Robert Irving, Victor Boudreau, Ray Roberge, Bill Whalen, David Holtz, who sadly passed away suddenly last month, John and Leslie Manship, Wade Hamilton, Karen Branscombe, and really many, many others. Thank you, merci. Today, Sistema New Brunswick has 9 orchestra centers in the province. We engage more than 1,000 children every day and employ 58 teaching artists on our staff team. We're the largest program of our kind in Canada. Malheureusement, au Nouveau-Brunswick, trop d'enfants sont laissés pour compte. Unfortunately, in New Brunswick, too many children are left out. And for those children, the impact is devastating. Fewer finish school, fewer go on to advanced education, more unemployed, more struggle with health challenges, addictions, homelessness, and many other issues. Even more alarming than that, our best efforts have produced little or no change over the last 3 decades. You might look at that as 3 lost decades for New Brunswick children. We simply can't let that continue to happen generation after generation. It looks like an intractable problem, but the success of Sistema New Brunswick children has proven that it's not. Here's how it works. The mission of Sistema New Brunswick is to inspire children and youth to achieve their full potential. Il s'agit d'une mission sociale. Sistema New Brunswick is free. Children participate 3 hours every day after school, and we use music in the orchestra as a catalyst to create social change. Because it's so intensive, the children get really good at the music. In the process, they're learning focus and discipline, respect for others, empathy, teamwork. These are values essential for the orchestra to work, but also essential to have a successful life. And along the way, there's this magical moment of awareness when the children connect the dots between hard work and achievement. When they understand I can do things, and at that moment, understanding their capacity as a human being becomes transformational in their life. Les enfants et les jeunes réalisant leur plein potentiel. Et c'est grâce au Sistema NB qu'ils y arriveront. It's a compassionate, humane, and just response for New Brunswick children who otherwise might be left out. So, if we want to see children from underserved communities included in society and gaining the skills they need to be mature, happy, and contributing adults, there's one thing we simply must do. We need to find a way to engage more children. That's our vision, to engage more children and to inspire a whole generation of change for children and youth in New Brunswick. Donc, aujourd'hui, je suis heureux d'annoncer 10 000 enfants. La vision et le plan pour le prochain chapitre de Sistema NB. So today, I'm pleased to announce 10,000 children, the vision and plan for the next chapter of Sistema New Brunswick. It's a 15-year plan to strategically invest in a whole generation of children and youth in New Brunswick. The number of children will double to more than 2,000 daily in our program. And more than 10,000 New Brunswick children will be engaged over the life of the plan. That's a number that will be seen and heard and felt, that will be transformational for our children, our communities, and the province. In conclusion, if there's one thing we've proven over the last 12 years, it's this. Tous nos enfants ont du talent, mais ils n'ont pas tout accès à des possibilités. All of our children have talent, but not all have opportunity. However, when provided opportunity, through their own hard work, guided by caring, experienced coaches and mentors, they can achieve at the highest levels. Nos enfants comptent sur nous et nous ne pouvons le décevoir. Our kids are counting on us, and we can't let them down. This is a moment of opportunity. I know we can do this together. Will you be part of 10,000 children? Thank you. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Dominic Carty, Minister of Education for the province of New Brunswick. Minister Carty was not able to be with us personally, but he is able to join us remotely. So it's my pleasure now to introduce Minister Carty. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, bonjour. I'm Dominic Carty, the Minister for Education and Early Childhood Development. Je vais commencer par remercier Monique Boudreau pour gérer la session aujourd'hui, to Alison and Claire McCain, Robert Moreau, and Ken McLeod, and all the board members from Sistema, thank you, and also Sistema New Brunswick's musicians, teachers, and all the staff. Thanks for your work. Sistema New Brunswick has been partnering with the Government of New Brunswick since 2009. And from small beginnings with just 50 students back then, now Sistema is in 9 communities and reaching 1,000 students every single day. Reaching students through the universal language of music. Teaching students the discipline and the values that go along with application to a concentrated piece of work and an effort to strive for excellence. Le programme a dit bonjour aux jeunes Acadiens, aux jeunes anglophones, aux nouveaux arrivants dans notre province et leur donner une opportunité pour pousser leurs limites, pour cibler leurs efforts et pour démontrer que malgré les défis qu'ils présentent pour tous les jeunes, ils ont l'opportunité pour les survécur et d'aller en avant. We've seen Sistema graduates excel not just in music, where you would expect it, but in astrophysics, in the medical sciences, and in the arts and humanities as well. Because the discipline that they learn through Sistema is a discipline that will translate into every area of life. So it's an honor to be able to celebrate this next step in Sistema's growth as we move towards not just having 1,000 students in the program, but a goal of reaching 10,000 young people. Le but de donner aux jeunes de notre province l'opportunité de participer dans la programmation de Sistema Nouveau-Brunswick pour 10 000 jeunes, c'est incroyable. On sait que ça va changer la vie de ces jeunes et ça va changer notre province. The only way we can move ahead as a province is if we keep on finding new ways to strive and to excel. And I know that Sistema is going to be part of that partnership and part of what it's going to take to keep New Brunswick moving on the right track. Merci beaucoup. C'est un honneur d'être ici avec vous autres.
Merci au ministre Carty pour ses mots d'encouragement. It is now my pleasure to introduce Alison and Claire McCain, honorary co-chairs for 10,000 Children Vision and Plan. And while Mr. and Mrs. McCain come to the stage, let's hear from some of our children. Écoutons des témoignages de nos enfants.
Good morning. I'm Claire. Thank you for being here, either in person or in our virtual audience. Your interest in Sistema New Brunswick is essential to everything we'll be achieving here together over the coming months and years. Simply put, we need you to succeed. It was a great honor for Alison and I to be asked to be the honorary co-chairs of this very ambitious and forward-thinking plan for the youth of our province. We're very happy to lend our support in any way that we can, for we know that our future lies in the hand of our youth. And as we've just seen here a few minutes ago, the youngest members of this group have shown how hardworking and diligent and talented and truly inspiring they can be. We can see the results. Their commitment to excellence is impressive. We've seen this with Sistema kids across the province every day for the last 10 years, and it demonstrates just how worthwhile the Sistema New Brunswick program is and how it helps each child develop. Alison and I believe deeply in the worth and the potential of every young person in the province and the value that this brings. We believe that every child deserves a chance to succeed, to excel. And Sistema New Brunswick provides that special experience of mentoring and training in a positive and encouraging environment, working with highly competent instructors who totally believe in them. We look forward to the future, to impacting fully 10,000 of our province's children with Sistema New Brunswick's progressive and positive approach. This is our moment of opportunity, the opportunity for each of us to make a major difference in every child's life. Alison?
So, to help us support our youth, we've reached out to a truly talented and inspiring group of adults. We've assembled an honorary campaign cabinet, a group of exceptional New Brunswickers, each with a reputation for excellence and support for Sistema New Brunswick. We'd like to introduce them to you now. First, George Paul, Misha Brugger-Gosman, Larry Nelson, Donnell Savoie, the Honorable Marilyn Trenholm Council, the Honorable Hermenegilde Chesson, and the Honorable Graydon Nicholas. As you would all know well, a major initiative like 10,000 Children needs committed, experienced, and highly capable feet on the ground, day-to-day leadership. We needed the best, and I think we've been able to recruit the best. We're very pleased, in fact, we are delighted to announce that the highly qualified and respected CEO of Uni Financial Corporation has agreed to chair the capital campaign for 10,000 Children. Robert Moreau. Robert, thank you for your willingness to do this and for your great leadership. And I'd now ask you to come forward and give us a little idea of what plans you see for the campaign. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. What an honor it is for me to be here today. And Alison and Claire McCain, Minister Carty, Dr. Azrieli, Mr. McLeod, MC, Monique Boudreau, Sistema NB, Youth Orchestra, board members, and friends. I want to start by thanking everyone who has spoken so far for the kind, generous, and supportive remarks. It is all so uplifting and, in that way, also very helpful to what we are going to achieve together. So this morning, I'm pleased to make 3 important announcements. First, as you know, the 10,000 Children campaign is being launched today, right here, right now. To support the extraordinary, exciting, and ambitious vision and plan of Système New Brunswick over the next 15 years. Alors, la campagne 10 000 enfants, dont les fonds seront utilisés par Système Nouveau-Brunswick sur une période de 15 ans. Second, the private sector 10,000 Children campaign goal is $12 million. So, la campagne de 10 000 enfants a comme objectif de recueillir 12 millions de dollars auprès du secteur privé. The fundraising has already begun. Pledges will be made over a 3 to 5 year period. And because the need is so immediate and so acute, the funds and interests will be fully expended over the next 15 years, starting immediately. Système New Brunswick will invest the entire amount on frontline services to children, families, and communities. Third, we are delighted to announce that fully $6.2 million has already been committed by exceedingly generous donors. Alors, nous avons le plaisir d'annoncer que 6,2 millions de dollars ont déjà été engagés par des donateurs extrêmement généreux. Merci. Now, how exciting is that? And in a moment, you'll hear from one of the campaign's early lead partners. Personally, I am very pleased and humbled and honored to chair the campaign cabinet for 10,000 children. Investing in New Brunswick's children and its future is absolutely essential. Je suis honoré d'être le président de la campagne de 10 000 enfants. I'm also pleased to represent Uni Financial Corporation family in this special project. 10,000 children is an excellent fit for our company, and it aligns perfectly with our most important corporate values, which are determined by our own employees, which is solidarity, responsibility, and courage. I'm also excited to work in an impressive group of business and community leaders who have said yes to serving on the campaign cabinet. I'd like to introduce them to you now. Joining us online, former Premier of New Brunswick and forever optimistic, the Honorable David Allward, a longtime supporter. Lucinda Flemmer, I should say the famous, the awesome Lucinda Flemmer, definitely a Canadian legend in arts and culture, the owner of Kingsbury Garden and longtime supporter. Leslie Manship, one of New Brunswick's foremost philanthropists and one of Systema's very first supporters over 12 years ago. The energetic, hardworking community visionary, Cyril Simard. And another top performer, Derek Smith, recently repatriated to New Brunswick from overseas. Welcome home, Derek. And joining me here on stage, the highly respected Régent Boudreau, a senior executive of Assomption Vie, and another longtime supporter, the positive and dynamic, great team player, Wade Hamilton, senior investment advisor and longtime Systema supporter, and the quiet but highly effective leader at Lounsbury Group, and again, one of our very first supporters, Ed McNally. Thank you for taking on this important challenge to support our youth. Merci à tous de relever ce défi important de notre jeunesse. And now we begin working together to raise the remaining $5.8 million to achieve the overall goal of $12 million from the private sector. Travaillons donc ensemble pour réunir ces 5,8 millions de dollars restants afin d'atteindre notre objectif global de 12 millions de la campagne. It will take many thoughtful and caring and generous contributions. Our children are counting on us, and we can't let them down. We'll get it done. Comptez sur nous. Now, it's my honor to introduce a very special friend and partner of Sistema New Brunswick. Originally from Montreal, Sharon Ezraeli has enjoyed an international success as a soprano, singing at the world-famous venues including Carnegie Hall, the Metropolitan Opera, and the Opéra Bastille de Paris, and with leading organizations such as Canadian Opera Company, Orchestra Symphonique de Montréal, the National Arts Center Orchestra, and the New Israeli Opera, among others. In 2014, Dr. Ezraeli conceived of the Israeli Music Prizes for the Ezraeli Foundation. Since that time, the prize has grown to become Canada's top prize for music composition and is recognized as one of the largest such competitions in the world. In 2019, Dr. Ezraeli was awarded the National Order of Quebec, Chevalière du Québec, for her remarkable achievements. Sharon Ezraeli is devoted to arts, education, and philanthropy. She sits on the board of several philanthropic organizations, including the Ezraeli Foundation. Friends, Dr. Sharon Ezraeli.
Minister Cardy, Honorary Co-Chairs Alison and Claire McCain, Campaign Chair Robert Moreau, CEO Ken MacLeod, special guests, Mesdames et Messieurs, Sistema New Brunswick musiciens, les enseignants, staff and board members, and the many generous Sistema New Brunswick donors and supporters. Bonjour, bien que j'aurais tellement aimé pouvoir me joindre à vous en personne pour l'annonce d'aujourd'hui, je suis néanmoins ravie d'être avec vous virtuellement aujourd'hui. Je suis Sharon Ezraeli et au nom de la Fondation Ezraeli, je suis ravie d'ajouter notre voix au cœur des amis, sympathisants et partenaires de Sistema Nouveau-Brunswick. We are particularly honored and proud to support the 10,000 Children Initiative. The Ezraeli Foundation's purpose is to open doors to opportunity and a better future for all. We see so much potential in the world, and we believe that everyone, from our most vulnerable to our most exceptional, has a contribution to make. Plus important encore, nous pensons que l'éducation a le pouvoir de changer les vies. C'est pourquoi l'initiative 10 000 enfants est profondément significative pour la Fondation et pour moi personnellement. Sistema New Brunswick fits beautifully with our deep interest in helping underserved children and youth meet their full potential through education. Mon père, David Ezraeli, du saint mémoire, croyait fermement que l'éducation a le pouvoir de changer des vies. Nous restons reconnaissants pour son héritage qui nous permet de changer le monde pour le mieux chaque jour. We have invested widely in a range of proven programs, including community music education, programs in Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa that enable students to attain personal, social, and academic achievements with life-lasting results. However, we have been particularly impressed with the work of Sistema New Brunswick and its approach to creating social change through excellence in music education. Chaque jour, vous persévérez de renverser la pauvreté infantile ici, au Nouveau-Brunswick. We admire your remarkable success over the past 12 years, and now your plans to scale your programming throughout the province, engaging so many more children and youth via the 10,000 Children Initiative. We see how your 15-year vision for 10,000 children will serve to further cement Sistema New Brunswick's position as a Canadian Centre of Excellence for social change through music education. Your collaborative research partnerships and detailed transfer plan demonstrates a strong commitment to not only investigate your program's impacts on children, families, and communities, it also generously shares your learning with others. This helps strengthen Sistema-inspired programs across the country and around the world. Nous croyons que chaque enfant, étant donné une bonne opportunité, va pas être destiné à rester dans la pauvreté. In supporting community organizations to mobilize inclusive, intensive, and engaging educational programs, change can be achieved. We see the very real change you are making, and we are deeply inspired and excited to be a part of your vision for the future. J'ai le plaisir d'annoncer que la Fondation Azrieli investira $2 millions dans l'initiative 10 000 enfants de Sistema Nouveau-Brunswick. I am pleased to announce that the Azrieli Foundation will invest $2 million in Sistema New Brunswick's 10,000 Children Initiative. It's a pleasure and privilege to make this commitment, and we can't wait to see the results. Merci pour le travail que vous faites pour renforcer nos communautés et félicitations pour ce lancement.
Wow. Dr. Azrieli, I must say, I'm almost speechless. Thank you. Speaking as a New Brunswicker, the generosity of the Azrieli Foundation is simply overwhelming. Your contribution to Sistema New Brunswick, to the children of this province, will without question be felt for generations. Alors, au nom de tous les Néo-Brunswickois, Néo-Brunswickoises, sachez que nous sommes profondément reconnaissants. Merci. On behalf of all New Brunswickers, please know that we are deeply grateful and thank you. And now, to close my remarks, I would also acknowledge and thank the McCain Foundation. Not only has the McCain Foundation been a longtime supporter and partner with the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, I am pleased to announce they have made a leading contribution to the 10,000 Children campaign, a significant part of the $6.2 million committed to date. Nous sommes reconnaissants de votre confiance, de votre générosité et de votre geste philanthropique, signifie un immense soutien pour une génération d'enfants et de familles du Nouveau-Brunswick. Nous vous remercions sincèrement. We are grateful for your confidence and trust, for your generosity, and what that will mean for generations of children and families in New Brunswick. Thank you very much. And now I will head over to Monique and Ken to proceed.
Au nom de nos élèves, notre jeunesse, je veux également remercier Dr. Azrieli ainsi que la Fondation McCain. Merci pour votre généreuse contribution. Maintenant, on a dans notre fil de conversation beaucoup de mouvements, beaucoup de commentaires et des questions que notre audience nous demande. Ça fait qu'on va procéder avec des questions. Fait que I'll ask the questions and Ken will answer. The first one that came up is, Ken, you mentioned expanding into communities. So I have two questions for you. The first one, what communities do you serve now?
Okay, good question. So we're in 9 communities throughout New Brunswick, Moncton, Fredericton, St. John, and then if we go up to the Acadian Peninsula, Tracadie, coming back, Miramichi, Wishabukto, Elsipogtog, Hillsborough, and Edmundston.
Wow. And in which communities do you plan on expanding with this 10,000 children campaign?
Now, that's a more difficult question to answer. So, of course, our goal is to serve communities where there's the greatest need. So we'll be working with our partners to assess which are the best communities, the ones in most need, where we can make the biggest impact. So we hope to announce that as we move forward.
Okay. And I'm sure that every community that you will ask for help or to become your partner, as we always say, you can't say no to Ken, so I'm sure that they will want to work with you. You mentioned that Sistema New Brunswick makes a positive difference in the students' lives. So do you have examples on how do you impact on the students' lives?
Okay, that's a good question. So how do we measure impact? Maybe there's a couple of ways to answer that. There have been some formal studies done on the children who are part of our program. And they've indicated things like better attendance at school, more focused, better able to focus and concentrate, improved behavior, improved academic performance. So those are really important measures of outcomes. And maybe the best measure now is we're in our 12th year, and our kids started with us in grades 1, 2, or 3. So we're just beginning to have graduates. So our students, I think, are the best testimonial for the work of Sistema New Brunswick. I might mention Evan, who graduated in June. It's a great story because Evan started with us in 2009, and he was in grade 1. So he progressed through the Sistema Children's Orchestras, the Regional Youth Orchestra, the Provincial Youth Orchestra. He graduated in June, and he's studying astrophysics at St. Mary's this year. The obvious next step for a musician is astrophysics. Everybody knows that. But I guess the point is, the tools are there so that kids can find their path and fulfill their potential.
Puis, je vais ajouter un peu aussi parce que lorsque je discute avec des enseignants, des directions d'école, ils nous disent la même chose. On voit l'impact, on voit la différence dans la discipline, la concentration, puis même au niveau de leur vouloir à bien faire, pas seulement comme musicien, mais comme élève aussi à l'école. Puis la même chose, on leur ouvre un monde d'opportunités, que ce soit de l'ouverture avec des bourses qui leur permettent d'étudier à des universités. On leur donne la chance qu'ils n'auraient probablement pas eu s'ils n'avaient pas eu le programme de Sistema au Nouveau-Brunswick. So our last question, I heard that, I know that the Sistema New Brunswick program is 100% free. And when I tell that to people, they say, how can that be? It can't be. So explain to us how it works.
Well, and that's such an important idea because, of course, what we know is that exclusion is what is so harmful to kids. So we instead, one of our main operational principles is inclusion. We want to remove barriers to participation. And the other thing I want to mention is children start with us at 6 years of age. And when I first visited Venezuela, one of the things that stood out to me is, multiple, hours after school, we'd go into an orchestra room and the children were fully engaged, connected, passionate. It's the place they wanted to be. And what I'm most proud of is it's the same here in New Brunswick. So our kids, as young as 6, are there every day after school for 3 hours. And if you were to be there on a Friday afternoon, the 3rd hour after school, you would see kids who are engaged, connected, full of joy. It's a place they want to be, and it's a wonderful experience.
Je vais ajouter aussi parce qu'on a beaucoup de témoignages de direction d'école et d'enseignants qui nous disent ces jeunes, au lieu d'être sur la rue après l'école, ils deviennent des musiciens. Puis ça, c'est le plus gros cadeau qu'on ne peut pas leur offrir. Well, thank you for answering the questions, Ken, and thanks to the listeners for your questions. If you have any more questions, just bring them on the chat, and we'll do a follow-up on those. So in fitting closing to this wonderful morning, once again, I'm pleased to introduce the Sistema New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and conductor Antonio Delgado performing Hallelujah from the Messiah by Handel. Fait que Monsieur et Madame, écoutons Hallelujah. Bravo. C'est incroyable de voir ces jeunes performer. On behalf of Sistema New Brunswick and our special guests here today, thank you for joining us. De la part de Systema Nouveau-Brunswick et de nos invités spéciaux, merci de votre participation à cet événement spécial qui nous permettra de garder les étincelles dans les yeux des enfants et de changer le monde. We invite you to keep updated on the campaign by visiting our website, 10,000children.ca. Merci à tous. Bonne fin de journée.